hit that shit.
It is a really funky beat. Can't believe we hired someone to make dubstep for us.
I don't remember hiring them, but yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
I can't believe we stole dubstep from someone.
We stole their labor. Hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon, episode 107. It is the 2nd of September, 2022. The person speaking right now is Michael Deebs, host of the show. I am joined, as always, by Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle @DankTheLuz. Also joined by John, the producer, from Instagram handle @PooPooPP. It doesn't matter. He doesn't use his Instagram.
Got him.
Got him
Yeah.
yet again. I get him almost every fucking time.
And yet he comes back.
And yet he comes back.
Yeah. And yet he comes on my back.
I was like born with the disposition of a 60-year-old man.
Oh, okay.
So I just do not understand how to actually use social media.
That's fair. I struggle with it sometimes myself.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Usually.
Hold on, I gotta scroll for a little while. Hold on.
Sometimes you'll post something and people will DM you nasty things about yourself that aren't true.
Yeah, it's some Canadian bot and reporting me calling them a maple scented moose. And I'm very upset about that.
I don't see what's wrong with any of that.
I don't either.
A moose is a powerful, majestic creature. Maple smells fucking good. So maple scented moose, like you just called him a big, beautiful, delicious smelling. You basically called him like a big size snack, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, really, what I was trying to express, and I meant this really, is that he's the most manly animal, and yet smells delightful.
Exactly.
Masculine,
powerful, big. I guess they have antlers,
Haunches.
Right? Not horns. Yeah,
Potent.
Antlers. John, how are you doing today? We need to get off this moose subject before it deteriorates into nothing.
The plural is myces.
It's not. It is not.
Mycelium. Mycelium is when you have a bunch of meese in one place.
Mycelium. How mooses are born.
They just burst from the earth.
But
sorry, John.
You're treading on John's space.
Yeah, I'm doing better. To the two people, if that watch the podcast, if they noticed, my beard has been getting shorter and shorter every episode, and that's because my beard was falling out, but it stopped, I think.
Oh,
I quit ripping it out in frustration. So
okay, well,
mostly because there's nothing to grab onto anymore. Yeah,
that's maybe good and or bad. What was causing you so much frustration?
No, it was just doing work and then watching it get like torn up like right after you do it every day for like a month and a half kind of thing. It was like a whole shit. What's his name? Sisyphus. Yeah.
Oh, Sisyphean task, right?
Yeah, it was a whole Sisyphean task. Yeah. But it's over, so that's good.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm happy for you. And I hope that you bring a more positive energy to the podcast.
Whoa. I said I feel better, not that I'll be better.
You're right. I did allow you to put into your contract that you don't have to be enthusiastic about the podcast. So
yeah. And my resume, like right at the top, it says I'm not a participator.
Also fair enough. Click the links, monkey. Oh man, that probably could be read as a racist thing. That was not my intent.
Well, it was.
Oh yeah, but
It was
you know,
it was like a you're just like a goofy little guy that clicks on star. That could also
Mm,
probably be interpreted as hey,
yeah,
Danko, how are you doing today, man? Gotta
yeah.
get me
Man,
out of a situation
I-
here.
I'm doing all right. I'm enjoying this minstrel show that
yeah.
I'm being forced to sit through.
We should probably
Beca-
let the viewer know
because
that I
you're
spray tan before every episode.
yeah. I mean, it's just cool. It's cool that you're being kind of racist. I think it's a good look for you, and I think that ultimately it's going to bring you a lot of goodwill on Theorygram.
Yeah, I mean,
The more racist you
unironically,
are,
though. Yeah. Not a joke. Actually, going to improve my my standing in Theorygram, probably.
yeah, you got clout now. You got that racism clout.
I did get blocked by 2 prominent members of Theorygram, so you know I need that win.
Yeah. And I'm a pretty cheap civil rights lawsuit. Everywhere I work, I tell my boss they can say as many slurs as they want. They just have to settle out of court for $300 every time they say a slur.
There you
$300.
go.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
That's not bad.
No, that's a good
you know?
deal.
Them's
Yeah.
bargain rates. You're driving down the market economy there.
Oh yeah.
You're doing some real Amazon moves by like selling this at like a loss almost. Because like I assume every time you probably have to eventually find a new job or like move on.
No, he gets promoted each time.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
like I like I push a desk over and like light a trash can on fire and tell them I'll see them in court. Then they give me the $300 and a promotion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well, hey,
it's
I
actually
respect it.
Yeah, it's win-win.
It's pretty convenient too, because I'm actually the world's least expensive civil rights attorney. It's $150. And I
Do you
only
ever
work
have
with
to
John.
explain to the court why you were there as the attorney with a camcorder recording the incident?
I think that's attorney-client privilege.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I may just be a simple country lawyer,
Man.
but you, my friend, I believe, called my client here, who I, of course, spend every day with as a way of defending him, the N-word, as it were. And perhaps if you could stop being such a fucking racist, maybe I wouldn't have to put on this potentially racist against white people accent.
You guys have like a real like Better Call Saul Goudreau situation going on because you use that that I think Southern plantation accent is what you're doing.
Well,
Your
slowly
Honor,
turns to
I
like,
do declare.
if I do it for long enough, I slowly just become Jimmy Stewart. So,
Yeah.
the banks are all out of money.
stuff.
But yeah, dude, I'm good.
Cool, glad to hear it.
I didn't do anything stupid that damaged my brain recently. How are
No,
you?
not last night or anything like that. I'm actually
I don't have
doing
alcohol
pretty,
poisoning.
low level alcohol poisoning. Not me, no sir. I'm actually doing I'm doing pretty well. I got the long weekend up ahead of us. It's Labor Day weekend. And on that note, I think we should bring up a labor hero died recently. Did anybody hear about this incident?
Maybe.
Yeah, Mikhail Gorbachev, hero of the laborious people of Russia, brought them pizza.
He did. He brought them huts full of it. It's a weird way
He brought them not only pizza, but huts for the pizza. Also, maybe like kind of fucked up everything that was going right about the Soviet Union and made everything that was going bad with the Soviet Union worse. I don't know.
I just assumed that he was already dead.
I actually was surprised to find out that he died because I was like, oh shit, I would have assumed somebody would have beat him to death by now.
Yeah.
But no, it turns out that he was allowed to live this entire time.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe because he's not exactly, if I remember correctly, which I might be thinking, I might be mixing because all the Russian names sound the same to me.
That's
But
racist.
Putin doesn't like him, right?
I mean, nobody really likes Gorbachev.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
I mean,
He's-
he
he's-
did help essentially dissolve the Soviet Union, so
Yeah.
I'm sure Putin's not very happy about that.
He was the handmaiden of like ending the whole thing essentially. So I just
Yeah.
called Gorbachev a handmaiden.
Well, I guess
There's a great Simpsons episode with him in it where he fights. He has like a protracted fist fight, action movie style with Homer.
Yeah. So, anyways, mourning the loss of our labor hero Mikhail Gorbachev on this Labor Day weekend.
Gorbachev.
You know, it's I know that everybody likes to go and grill on Labor Day weekend, but we have to remember the fallen heroes of the labor movements of past.
Also, just a traditional reminder that this isn't the real Labor Day. This is a fraud. This is the fake Labor Day, and the real one is May Day, in fact. But kind
of course, right?
Again.
Which HC pointed out in the chat here before you did.
Good on you, HC.
Did laborers like burn down some government buildings on May Day?
we don't avow snitches, so we can neither confirm nor deny. Danko, you got a little bit quiet. I don't know if you maybe changed something about your audio.
No, I just walked to the other side of the room, and I'm just,
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Then.
I just don't want to. Yeah, I wanted to be somewhere else. So you're gonna have to deal with it.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure it was.
Yeah. No, I'm not dying or anything.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Great. So tonight's episode, I did a clever little pun title, which is "Water You're Waiting For." like what are you waiting for? Water you're waiting for. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about inexplicably all the links that we kind of put together, except for one, which I put together at the very last minute, is about some kind of body of water. Which kind of happened on its own, and I figured, let's roll with this very aquatic theme. We'll have a little fun with it. And so the first body of water that we're gonna talk about today is a pool.
A pool?
Yes, a pool. A Tim pool, perhaps. That's a little bit of a switcheroo joke there. You guys will catch on to it later. John has not run through the ad here because, of course, Tim Pool has ads on his shitty music video. I gotta admit to you, I have not seen these music videos, even though I've known about the existence of them for some time.
This one's like new.
I guess this one's
one
new. The other link that we have that's going to be more towards the end of the show is older.
Yeah, that one's a couple years old, I think. But this one is this one rules.
Will a bot flag our video to be taken down for playing this?
No, he's just gonna get all of our ad revenue.
Yeah, which we don't ever monetize our videos, so nothing gained, nothing lost. So
and honestly, would it be that bad if the world had one fewer Benzo Rehab video?
You need to get yourself off the fucking podcast. you're treading in some dangerous waters, which is the subject of our podcast tonight.
Well, when we finally break into getting popular with conspiracy theorists, which I think are going to end up being our only demographic, they're going to think that we're covering something up.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
because
the
there'll just be a
lost
video
episode.
missing.
We're gonna have like weirdo YouTuber like deep divers that are like gonna theorize about the lost Benzo Rehab dungeon episode. Like they do with like the lost, like, I don't know, SpongeBob episode that they made up and they think is haunted or whatever.
Yeah, it's actually gonna be, it's gonna go like this. Hey, it's me, your friend Schizotopia, and I just
Shout out Schizotopia, friend of the show.
good guy.
So Tim Pool, for those who are uninitiated in the brainworms of the YouTube political sphere, is a moron. He claims to be left leaning. All of his views are completely conservative. He rejoiced when Roe v. Wade was essentially overturned by the Supreme Court. Because he's got some questions about, and it's your typical like, I'm basically just a conservative piece of shit, but I don't want to say that out loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like try to imagine that I have some kind of nuanced view of this problem. Um, and so it's actually better that we've started outlawing abortion, because I think we need to retool it in a different way. And he's being disingenuous, of course. But
Oh yeah.
it's just your typical disingenuous, why I left the left sort of kind of guy. And he wears a beanie all the time, and he's recently, or more recently, I guess, in his career, started. He kind of gained his original fame off the Occupy Wall Street stuff, where he didn't really do anything. He just like had a recorder while he was there. So like he captured a bunch of footage of it, and kind of like fell into prominence because of that.
That's where he got his leftist cred.
Yeah, but not even really, because like he was never a leftist. He was just there with a video recorder, right? Hasn't actually done anything notable except for make money off of that, and then now runs a podcast where he spouts insane bullshit. Genuinely one of the dumbest fucking people on planet Earth, I think.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you have to make this political, because this song is it's just art,
Yeah,
so
so the reason I'm bringing up all these politics, I guess, is I have not seen this again. But
yeah, he's not an inherently political guy. I mean, nothing
yeah.
is inherently political. So
uh, but yeah, I mean, I guess let's jump into it. And again, I haven't seen this, but I'm hedging my bets that there's going to be some kind of like American libertarian sort of message in here about like how, I don't know, getting the vaccine was actually equivalent to being forced into the gas chamber or something like that, right?
which, to be
Yeah.
fair, it is.
Yeah, I mean, the same exact thing, where you get
And we all got forced into it too.
yeah, we all
Yeah.
got forced into it. I remember when the cops burst through my door, and a nurse came in. It was a male nurse too, which I didn't understand at the time. But a male
You can't
nurse,
be a
Yeah.
nurse. You
Yeah.
must be a doctor.
A male nurse came in and injected me with the jab, as they call
Yeah.
it.
The jab.
Yeah,
They killed my mom.
I definitely didn't register for the vaccine super early with 2 different counties, and I definitely didn't misrepresent a growth somewhere on me as cancer, so I could get it.
I mean,
No, doctor, that's not just a regular butthole. Look at that lump there.
the vaccine, however, did, and this is true, make me stupid. That's why I'm like this. I wasn't like this before.
Yeah.
Now I'm dumb and my dick is small, and it's all because of the vaccine. I was a well-hung genius before. Please keep that in mind when you're making fun of me on the internet.
Yeah,
that
so
I wasn't always like this. This is a tragic story. This is not inherent to my being. This is a sad thing that I didn't have control of, and it's the government's fault.
Yeah,
My
before
balls
I
are still big,
got
though.
before
They're
I got
real. They're
this
like
recent vaccine,
because of the vaccine.
I
They're
I
big.
shut
My
the
balls are big.
shut up. I'm trying to make a joke, man. Before this most recent vaccine, all I had was autism, and now what I have is far worse, which is I'm just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I got
I-
was a roadkill fetish. So
Damn.
you guys are lucky.
That's a weird side
Okay,
effect. I haven't seen that
no.
one listed.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So they come out with the vaccine, right? And very soon after, I believe, or it was right before. So maybe they knew this was going to happen, but they come out with a vaccine, and then they stop using the term Asperger's. Now it's all autism. So,
Coincidence? I think
you
not.
know,
Yeah. Open your eyes up. If you still have the motor function to do so. All right, John, we need to move through this. Let's go ahead and play it.
I will just say right before we start this,
Jesus,
that
never get into this.
well, it's good that
Go ahead.
that they kept us all in our homes right before we all became totally overwhelmed by the stimulation of crowds.
Right, yeah.
Because we're all autistic.
We are. John,
Now,
before you run this,
vaccines cause autism, is what I'm saying.
We get
and
it.
Also my dick only looks small because my balls are so big.
And we're gonna get this. This episode's gonna be the most takedownable episode ever.
Well, that's probably because the N-word you started it with, but
yeah. I did not.
Oh, that was
Niger,
listener.
John, could you please turn on the closed captioning if it's not turned on?
Oh, there it goes.
There we go. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we get the lyrics on this. You know, go ahead.
What is he, a building inspector?
Did you think I'd leave you there? Did you think I'd never keep my promise to?
I'm sorry, like just immediately bad.
Yeah,
I was really hoping that he was like an idiot that could sing.
No, absolutely
or
not.
at least he was an idiot who, would use the huge amount of funding that he surely has behind him to, mask it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like to at least get like pitch correction applied or something.
So the beginning of this, I'm getting some pretty heavy like kind of Radiohead like ambient intro sort of
really
vibes.
Generous.
I mean, I think he tries to copy.
I mean, Radiohead sucks. You're right.
No, I don't think Radiohead sucks, and I think anybody that says that is just a fucking edgelord loser. By the way, bands can be good. Turns out, you can literally say any band sucks. Is my point.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
And they all do.
Yeah, they all do, and some of them are good at
I've never
sucking.
liked a song.
Yeah, I've certainly never liked music ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think because I've heard a little bit of the other one. I never like listened through the other one, but I think he tries to copy or whoever he hires to write these songs for him, essentially. Where he's like, hey, make it about I don't know, being vaccine is the same as Nazi Germany. Like these people are just like, yeah, sure, I can steal some stuff from a couple of other artists and like slap together a song. Anybody could do that, I guess. I think that's kind of what happens sometimes, and so that the visuals, the kind of like ambient sort of tones that come in, I think that's very Radiohead, and I'm only saying that to accuse him of ripping it off.
Yeah, I mean the comparison I would probably make is he's and I mean this no matter how absurd it sounds. but he's just like ripping off Hoobastank.
Yeah, right. And then that was gonna be the other thing is once we hit the vocals, it's like, oh man, he's like 90s new metal, but like the
pop punk new metal,
the pop
Yeah.
side of new metal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, like the stuff that that we've all forgotten, you know, like because it's like a decade of
Unwritten
music.
Law on Chevelle.
like during the decade that a popular genre, you know, like sticks around, oftentimes like what was popular while we lived through it doesn't survive.
Yeah,
Right.
Like it's like he liked all that the popular shit that didn't survive the test of time.
I mean, he's a guy that wears a beanie 24/7.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely in even his advanced age sent like a Blink-182 song to a girl.
It was I Miss You, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
When he gets really fucking pissed and he
Don't
wants
waste
to
your
feel
time
edgy.
on me, you're already a boy. I can't
That's
believe I
beautiful,
remember
Mike.
those lyrics. Basically the same as wasn't was it Tom DeLonge that song that one? I don't remember. Who cares?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. But
that's like one of
he
the
also
only
loves
names.
Static X, but he feels really weird about it. He feels naughty.
Oh man.
Anyway, we gotta get through this beautiful music.
Yeah, please continue playing.
It's easy when I'm lying there with you, and every night I dream of you, and every night I promise to hold on to the dream I one day wake up next to you.
But the vaccine killed
You left me there, staring at the heartache in my soul as I fell to pieces into the one you're leaving for. There's only one thing I want you to know, is that I have found my peace here. Did you think I'd walk away? Did you think I'd break my promise? Not today. It's easy when I'm standing there with you, yet every day away from you, it's another day.
So this guy in
He's
this
a building
this
inspector.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and apparently, I think what this song's actually about, it's about a building inspector that bought like the shittiest fucking house. Like, so he must be the worst building inspector. So a vaccine didn't kill his pretty wife, because in this video for the listener, he's walking through like a condemned house.
Yeah, right.
But he's like 35, and the flashback when the house looks new, he's 35.
Yeah, right.
This is
What's
very
what's
recent.
better is that in order to bring back these memories, he's not like looking at like a piece of old jewelry or like smelling some perfume left in a cabinet somewhere or something like that.
Yeah, he's
listening
listening
to the fucking walls because he buried her in them.
Oh man, it's a murder story. I'm trying to figure out where the I know that there's gonna be some kind of like shitty conservative libertarian message in here somewhere. There's gotta be.
like I'm waiting
Keep looking
for
it, dude.
yeah, because it's got to be ham-fisted. It usually is, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
Tim Pool's
I'm
a
waiting for him
fucking
to
moron.
just read a like vaccine warning label like really fast.
I mean, I would say right off the bat that for better or worse, being a fucking idiot is itself a political statement.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's play a little bit more of this, I guess.
I break my promise to hold on, 'cause holding on is harder than
Actually, pause real quick. Pause
This
real
guy
quick
looks like
and
he's
go
holding
back
a
like
guppy in
2
his mouth.
seconds to where that guy was like profile.
Yeah, where he has the fish in his mouth.
How fucking tall is this like mongoloid looking guy, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's wearing stilts made out of the walls.
He's
And
about to
he's
like
got bad
scratch the
posture.
roof with his fucking head. I noticed it
Yeah.
earlier. He walks through a doorway and he like, it's a good thing he has bad posture. And I'm not saying I have good posture, but it's a good thing he has bad posture because like otherwise he would have smacked his forehead.
It could just be a dollhouse. He could be really small, just
That's
like
true, yeah.
inconveniently.
He could be
sized.
really small and the house is just even smaller. You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I couldn't help but notice that this gentleman
Yeah.
in this
Thanks for pointing
Well,
out that someone's tall, Mike.
and
That's
I mean,
very-
it's like a bizarre amount of height. Like, why didn't he just get a regular sized person? I know that Tim Pool is a kind of small person, which again, coming from a manlet,
Actually,
I'm not.
I don't think he is because I always assumed he was like 5'2" because he looks like it. But I remember
Yeah.
looking it up at some point, and I think he's like, I don't know. Let me see. Tim Pool height. Yeah, he's 5'10", so I mean he's still tiny in my eyes, but that's
And
because
I
I'm a
mean,
big boy.
Also, this guy looks like he could play the lead in the biopic of Lurch.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I mean,
like, yeah,
He'd be better
the
work than this.
the expression he has. I don't know.
He's
This
you
poor
know what he
guy
looks
was
like?
probably just like, I'll take any acting job for money, please help.
I'll listen to a wall for $1.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hire Igor the Giant. Please hire Igor the Giant.
You know what he actually looks like, and I just realized it.
Yeah.
He looks like a boring Anton Chigurh.
All right. What's the most you ever lost in a bet, Tim Pool? My wife. All right, keep playing.
My wife.
Then I knew
Uh-oh. What's the door mean?
Did you know I left you there, staring at the heartache in your soul as your heart fell to pieces into the world you're leaving for? There's only one thing I think you should know, is that now you can rest in peace, dear. Only ever wanted you.
Sorry, pause. I need the listener to know that that this beautiful climactic moment when he's singing about this woman's heart falling to pieces and whatnot, the way that they depict this man's sorrow is having him staring directly into a light hanging from the ceiling.
It's like 6 inches away from his face.
Everything else is dark, and he is staring directly into, I want to say, probably a 400K light bulb, which is incredibly like white.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
painful to look at.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, like-
and
it
again,
rules.
can we look at the frame of that door in reference to this guy's head? Where did they
Yeah.
get this fucking giant from?
Yeah.
Fucking,
And he's eye level with the hanging light bulb. Like,
Yeah.
if that isn't evidence enough.
That he's living in a dollhouse.
Yeah,
Well,
that he's a
that-
very small person living in an even smaller house.
Well, I think that they human traffic their actors from Estonia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's getting paid a ham sandwich to lose his vision.
That's the most he's been paid in a long time. Danko, does this get any better? This is your link. I don't want to cut it
Keep
short.
watching it.
All right.
Okay.
I only ever needed you. I only ever wanted you to stay. I only ever needed you. I only ever needed you.
Oh man. Yeah, straight into Hoobastank. Okay, so this whole time I thought the wife was dead. No, the wife left him because he's an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
she planned her escape. She reversed the locks on the front door so
Yeah,
that when
that
she
is a
escaped,
bizarre. Yeah,
yeah, she could lock him inside while she drove off.
I respect this lady's cunning.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna say something sexist like she must have hired a locksmith to do that. I believe she did that herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that as a building inspector he wouldn't notice that.
Yeah. That the door's locked from the outside.
So yeah, imagery that the listener lost is that the couple gets the house. The house is a little bit beat up, I guess, and they're like looking around like, oh, imagine all the things we can do with it. And then eventually they start arguing and stuff. And he's I mean the big tall oaf guy is kind of looking like an asshole in these series of scenes. And then
Yeah,
she
because he's
just
like 6'5" and she's like 5'5".
yeah, she's regular human height.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's like, "No, I'm gone. Bye, see ya." And this whole time, Tim Pool has been lamenting the fact that a woman has the agency to leave a man that sucks.
Yeah. I mean,
That's pretty fucked up.
only a vaccine would make her
Yeah.
feel self-empowered.
That's what the
Yeah,
big oafish
that's-
guy was mad about. Is like, babe, ever since the vaccine, you've been lib-pilled as fuck.
I mean, yeah, that's really the problem with the vaccine is it's made women so uppity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they have the right to vote ever since the vaccine. I don't get it. All right.
That's so dumb.
Let's round this fucking thing out.
Hell yeah.
So this guy's running around his house and all the doors keep shutting on him, which I assume are all the doors that shut on you when you had to tell your prospective employer that you never got the vaccine because it's filled with Soros tracking devices or something, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to point out his domestic abuse record.
Oh, but yeah, also that. Yeah, right. Like this doesn't seem like a good guy. And again, Tim Pool seems to be on the side of this guy, I guess.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's the. Never mind.
John, play a little bit more.
And apparently she gets in a car accident the second she leaves the driveway. Like,
Yeah,
like,
well, she's
like
an angry woman.
he's
and
watching the
she's-
car accident. like, like she made it to 60 in fucking like 0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
Women drivers, am I right, guys?
Yeah,
No,
that's
defying the
horribly
laws of modern mechanics.
So let's try to finish this, and then I have some parting thoughts, and then I'll let you guys have your parting thoughts. And
Wow, thank you. This is very generous.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
need to move past this fucking thing. All right, that seems like the end of that.
Yeah,
So
and answering Carly's question in the chat. So what the hell were they arguing about? The answer is whether or not he should spend the extra $20 on the good brake pads.
he wanted them, but he's a real stickler for money.
Yeah. Did you notice that the house started to heal itself after the wife died?
Yeah, he didn't have to deal with her shit anymore. So he could
I
focus
mean,
on
there's so
spackling.
much bizarre imagery in this that doesn't really make sense. And I guess so. I mean, the story of this is couple buys house, couple is daydreaming about what the house could be. Couple gets into argument about we never know because it's never really spelled out. Um, wife leaves, guy that probably isn't treating her well. And then, as a consequence of her leaving, she gets into a car accident. Never should have left
mean-
the house, right?
One
and then
one of the greatest pitfalls of enjoying surrealism is trying to make it make sense. you
yeah,
know?
which you
So
shouldn't do.
maybe we shouldn't even be doing that,
Yeah,
because it seems really straightforward until you try to think about what actually happened, and then you realize that it's got like dream logic. It's like trying to read a book in your dreams.
yeah, right,
It's just the words keep moving around.
for sure. All right, well, that was our first body of water, which is Tim Pool. Still not making that joke. Oh, I guess this link isn't about water either. But we'll get to the
fuck?
water stuff later. But no, I really enjoyed this little news article here, which is Google is trying out pre-bunking to counter misinformation. Videos featuring cartoons raised people's awareness about common misinformation tactics for a short time, researchers found. And what's interesting here is that basically, how to put this? Misinformation is one of those things that keeps flying around, right? Well, we had for a short time in the Biden presidency, what was it, like the misinformation board or whatever with the what's her name? The crazy chick that sung the song about misinformation, like, but
Yeah.
it was Mary Poppins, right? I'm blanking on her name right now. That didn't last very long because everybody realized, oh yeah, there's really no way to combat misinformation. And then I think maybe secretly the other thing they had to realize is that
We already have a
sometimes,
propaganda department.
yeah, so they were making a propaganda department essentially that would tell you what the truth is, and nobody trusts that. Like, not even like, I mean, all right, lots of shit libs would trust that, but anybody who has like a little bit of a critical thought like going on in their head is like, that seems a little bit dangerous to because we just got through the whole Trump thing, and everybody knows that Trump was like a prolific liar, right? And Trump could
What?
happen again. We could have another guy that likes to lie to us all the time and doesn't have like the friendly face like Biden does, which is really all they were mad about. All of our politicians and all of our presidents lie to us all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's the
They're
thing that I'm most
they're just
like-
reasonable lies though.
right.
Yeah, the thing that I'm usually most angry about in terms of American politics is that sometimes the guy lying to me doesn't have extra teeth in his mouth.
So even the people who are like really strong pro Biden in a lot of cases were like a little bit dangerous to have this department of we determine what the truth is, because
What was it, the ministry
that department could be under Trump next election cycle, or someone like DeSantis next election cycle. Like that sucks. Nina Jankowicz, that's her fucking name, just came to my head. So
that
this new
sounds like a
thing,
propagandist name.
yeah, I mean, she's a nut job, to be sure. And then the other problem that was raised by people who are more nuanced in their thinking about this sort of stuff is a person like Nina Jankowicz shared a bunch of misinformation about like the Russian influence in the election sort of stuff, right? Russiagate, that all the major news agencies try to like thrust upon us as a real thing, and it turns out it's not really a real thing, and that's why we never hear about it anymore. I mean, like, Russian internet bots somehow influence the entire election? No, not real.
Actually, is the body of water we're going to talk about with this article the piss tape?
Yeah, maybe. That's maybe the only way to tie it into the rest of the water stuff. But yeah, no. So this pre-bunking idea is essentially putting into the hands of a corporation that has explicit vested interests the task of determining what is true and inoculating people to what is untruth, and it's pretty dangerous ground on the same terms, or maybe even worse terms than what the Biden was trying to do with the misinformation board, um, because Google has like a profit motive, and whatever they might determine to be true may include that profit motive, and may also compromise what they determine to be true or factual information, right? Um, so it's interesting. This article says, in a study published Wednesday, social scientists from Cambridge University, a university you should never trust, and Google reported on experiments in which they showed 90-second cartoons to people in a lab setting, and as advertisements on YouTube, explaining in simple, nonpartisan language some of the most common manipulation techniques. Nothing is nonpartisan. Everything is always
Just
partisan.
Just a little stick figure Sundar Pichai fucking teaching people syllogisms, or
Yeah, so
like what the fuck?
near the bottom of this article, we can actually watch one of these little things,
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
so John, go ahead and click on that shit. Also, I think this is an ad, right? Or no, maybe. Oh no. This is the beginning of the fucking pre-bunking thing. If you go back to the beginning of the video, where it shows the guy at the podium, just real quick. Oh, maybe it doesn't show that anymore. But the guy's name is like Dr. Smokegood or something. Bizarre name to choose for this.
Doinks.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
But yeah, go ahead and play this.
He's done brilliantly. Play on, says the referee. No, it's going to be a penalty kick for the Italians.
What an idiot! He should get his eyes checked. He's been bribed. He's been bought by the mafia. In sports, as in life, it's easy to get emotionally involved. But sadly, the Bad News Corp have taken things too far. Staff watching the game resorted to name-calling, accusations of bribery, and made jokes about the ref's heritage. This is a manipulation tactic known as an ad hominem attack, which...
Two things. First off, was that a like essentially a guy that looks like Einstein with a woman's voice? Is that what's happening there?
Yes.
Yeah. That's very confusing to me. And not to be transphobic about this cartoon.
No, I don't think that's
but-
what
no,
you're
it's
doing.
But the other thing, if you could go back like 2 seconds and play it again, I'm pretty sure she mispronounces ad hominem like I just did. I think she ends it with an N.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
As long as it's not a hard R.
is a manipulation tactic known as an ad hominem attack, which means against the person in
definitely
Latin.
mispronounced
The
it.
reason that we refer to this tactic by its Latin name is probably because even as far back as ancient Rome, people were aware that attacking the questioner rather than the argument is unfair. Sometimes, of course, it is relevant to note someone's past experiences. Like imagine a tobacco company putting out a study saying that smoking can't cause you harm. Should we question the character and motive here? I think so. But instead of attributing blame in such a deserved way, sadly, ad hominem attacks are commonly used to draw attention away from the issue at hand and manipulate your impression of the person instead.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Well, then you better turn up your hearing aid, Pops. Pops? I'm only 2 years older than you. Do we want old man Patterson here with his finger on the button? What button? What the hell are you talking about? What button? Where am I? Who took my false teeth?
You'll be surprised how often people attack a person or group rather than the argument itself. Truth labs. Just because they get personal doesn't mean you have to.
So that's not even like an accurate description of what an ad hominem attack is, really. An ad hominem, like you're allowed to call someone a piece of shit in a debate. What you can't do in a debate, if you're trying to be factual and logical about it is you can't say because you're a stinky piece of shit, I will not believe your argument. That's what an actual ad hominem is. You can be like, look, you stinky piece of shit, you're wrong, and here's why. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable within a logical debate. So they
Yeah.
don't even like
And-
summarize what an actual ad hominem is in this little short. As well as like, I don't know, the whole thing just sucks, I guess. So
and not to be like super pedantic, but the reason the the reason that we end up using Latin for phrases in logic or in science or anything like that is pretty much just because that was the convention in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Is that the educated class spoke Latin, and now we use it because it's all consistent, and that's nice to use a dead language like between different people speaking different languages using the same dead language.
yeah, it's really got nothing to do with it existing. Like, oh, even back in ancient times, I recognize
Yeah.
this. Like,
and
it's got nothing
the
to do
only
with
reason and the only reason that I bring that up, apart from just being incapable of avoiding pedantic little nitpicks, is the fact that if you're releasing videos trying to tell people about how to tell bullshit, you probably shouldn't just like make a cute lie.
Exactly. No, exactly why I wanted to play this video, because this whole video is full of cute little lies, and it's part of the pre-bunking the misinformation thing. Well, and I think it's appropriate to be pedantic here, because if you're going to proffer yourself as the fact checker on this sort of thing, right? Which is what Google or I forgot what the name of this like little fucking pre-bunking group is called. But like if you're gonna offer yourself as the go-to source for the correct factual information, you shouldn't be telling little lies like that. You have to be objective in what you're saying. And yeah,
Yeah.
it might make the video a little bit more fun to be a little bit goofy and play around with things like that. But you're not allowed to do that when you're calling yourself the fact checker.
And isn't
Yeah.
it dangerously close to which I don't remember the Greek or Latin word for the fallacy, but
Being a
it's pretty close
fucking
to
loser.
it's dangerously close to poisoning the well, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so it's bizarre to me that we would even consider this a good idea to begin with, and I don't think we, as in like, I'm saying the royal we here, right? People in general, or the people who are running the operation, I guess, would think that this is a good idea to have a private company running the like forward operation of your proper information, like yeah, whatever, you know what I mean.
Wasn't Google also getting subpoenaed by Congress a few years ago, or not even that long ago, for not being good shepherds of information for us, and then now they're in charge of it?
Yeah, right, exactly. And this is a thing that happens all the time. And like I was saying with like the whole Russiagate thing, is you had all the major news websites, all the major news companies running with this like Russiagate shit, and it turns out to not even really be that true. But hundreds of thousands of people are now completely convinced that Putin is who got Trump elected. And I have no love for Putin, of course, but that's so wildly inaccurate to what happened, and it's something that like belies the actual reasons Trump got elected, which is people are fed up with the status quo and they wanted something different, and Trump was going to be the guy that was going to break the system that is crushing them. Turns out that he's just the same guy as all the rest of them, of course. Lots of us already knew that, but you have all these shit libs who think that Trump got elected because of Putin, and not because the material conditions that they've created in our society are dog shit, and that's why people elected Trump.
Yeah. Well, and also like you have to believe, like a lot of shit libs would believe that Trump is both literally retarded and smart enough to trick
But a
every
mastermind.
level and system of like the government into I guess defrauding his way into the Oval Office.
Right. Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
And before we move on from this, I do want to point out that the fancy term for poisoning the well is preemptive ad hominem.
Got him. Also, yeah, the narrator mispronounced ad hominem every single time they said it. So,
well, it's probably a computer.
No, it's not a computer. It's it sounds like one of the narrators from one of the Jackbox games, honestly. I mean,
hey, it's me, Patty from the Ministry of Truth.
Good on her for getting more work, but bad on her for the this work. All right, so we got to get back to water. Water is a subject.
What are we doing?
What are you waiting for? And stuff. Big 3 basketball. Jackson, Mississippi. As
the
this
best state.
As this catty AP article headline reads, Mississippi capital, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Because turns out you need a.
It's like the old rhyme.
I'm gonna give you a second to work through that one.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we don't need to look at this slideshow, John. Come on.
Well, maybe I want to look at the slideshow.
What is this amateur? Yeah, well, you're nobody to the show. I believe is what you wanted to be.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Click on the links.
I
Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson is the capital of Mississippi. It should be pointed out. Mississippi's capital is grappling with multiple water problems. There's been too much on the ground after heavy rainfall in the past week, and not enough safe water coming through the pipes for people to use. Parts of Jackson were without running water Tuesday because flooding exacerbated long-standing problems in one of 2 water treatment plants. The city of 150,000 had already been under a boil water notice for a month because the health department found cloudy water that could cause digestive problems. Long lines have formed each day for limited supplies of bottled water at distribution sites. There's a restaurant owner here that's like, man, it sucks that we have to do this. Because they had to spend a bunch of money on water, of course. And I am sympathetic to that. I'm not just blowing them off because they own a restaurant. People do have to have jobs and stuff. So the capital of Mississippi does not have any safe water, and the water is so bad that they're advising people to like not even like shower in it.
Yeah, it's like beyond a boil notice.
Right. Yeah. So like usually when water is kind of bad, you can brush your teeth with it, right? Because you're planning on spitting most of that water out. It's not what you're gonna like end up imbibing isn't enough to like make you sick. This is to the point where it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't even like put this on your skin. So pretty fucking bad situation there. The article references long-standing problems, right? And so Jackson, Mississippi is a pretty shitty situation right now. And you know, if you live there, truly sorry for what's happening right now. I don't have a way to get you clean water. I'm just a guy that says stuff on the internet sometimes.
Water into manila envelopes and mail it out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of maybe better than what Jackson's gonna do. The water authority there is essentially saying it's indefinite. We don't know when you're ever going to get clean water again. Um, should be pointed out
Very
that
cool.
Jackson, Mississippi has a very heavy black population percentage. So we get some notes of Flint, Michigan in the story. This is a city that's been neglected for quite some while, and possibly on racial lines, right?
Yeah, contemporary redlining is just using poison now.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, kind of
In
what
all
they,
ways.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, environmental racism, like literally what it is. Yeah.
yeah, right. Redlining itself forced people to like live under
Yeah.
overpasses that like polluted everything in their air and their land around them, right? So go ahead and go to the next link because not enough people are reporting on this aspect of it. So we're hearing the news about this sort of situation, like, oh man, Jackson, Mississippi doesn't have water. What an emergency. Um, this article here, from it's a group calling themselves Mississippi CIR. I forget what the CIR stands for. But they do a bunch of like investigative reporting. I think that's what the IR stands for. I forget what the C stands for.
Cox.
No, I doubt it's Cox. Mississippi Cox Investigative
Celebratory.
Reporting.
My,
No, but
my Cox
Celibate.
investigative report.
maybe
Celibate involuntary reporting.
probably in the article somewhere, but neither here nor there.
Who cares? Oh my God.
So the article here is from January 3rd, 2022, which the astute observer and listener will note is several months ahead of now, right? And the article headline is Jackson's water system marked by a century of struggles. So
Very
this
cool.
this water crisis is not really a fluke or anything, right? It's something that we've known is kind of on the horizon for quite some time. As the article notes, probably 100 years. But the article starts out nearly 100 years ago. Jackson's leaders were just as concerned about its water infrastructure as they are today. Again, this is before Jackson loses any clean drinking water. This is months ago that this article is being written. But for different reasons. Jackson's great growth develops new problem, reads a Clarion Ledger headline on May 17, 2022. J.H. Fuel, then superintendent of the city's water plant, said the population was growing and more lines and upgrades at the treatment facility were needed to accommodate. Other city leaders agreed. The coming neglect of the system and the eventual exodus of Jackson's white and middle-class residents couldn't have been on their minds. Failure to do regular maintenance by several city administrations has left the system more like a sieve, or a sieve, rather, sorry. Boil water notices are... Yeah. Boil water notices are alarmingly regular, with at least 25 issued in the city since February. Again, this article is being written way earlier in the year, so over the course of 2021, essentially 25 boil water notices were issued. In 1988, a study by the Mississippi Public Service Commission found that many of the 1,400 water systems that existed in the state at the time, especially those smaller and privately run, hadn't been built with longevity in mind. A lot of these systems were put into place with the cheapest materials available. Commissioner Lynn Havens told the Clarion Ledger at the time, after 20 or 30 years, there's nothing left under the ground. Jackson, which has acquired several smaller systems over the years, is by all appearances in similar shape more than 30 years later. So we'll skip some of this other information here, and we'll go down to a little bit further. Sorry, go up. Yeah, so this last bit of the article. Funding troubles started early in Jackson. Millions in water bonds, grants, and loans have gone into Jackson's water system since the mid 20th century, but it hasn't been enough. Even in the early 1960s, before Jackson began to see its population decline, broken water mains were common as the pipes flows the streets gave out. A 1987 study conducted on the city's system determined significant increases to water and sewer rates in Jackson were needed to address an unexpected water revenue deficit. According to the findings, without the increase, the city would have faced a shortfall of more than $3 million by 1992, thanks to slowed city growth and increased water usage. Former Jackson Mayor Harvey Johnson, who served 2 non-consecutive terms, said the problem seemed daunting during his tenure. The 1997 Master Plan commissioned during his first administration was aimed at addressing the problem slowly but methodically. Even if we had $1 billion today, it would be impossible to spend $1 billion. It would take us 20 years to spend that amount of money, Johnson said. It's important to keep that master plan in mind and fix it one bite at a time. An ill-fated water contract with Siemens Incorporated would make matters worse. And this is going to be one of the things that I'm going to hit on repeatedly, is that privatization of these systems is not the way to go. And this is the problem that they run into in Jackson more recently, is that they tried to kind of outsource a lot of their water systems to Siemens Incorporated, which makes, some decent control mechanisms and stuff like that. But as somebody who's worked with several of their systems, you need to constantly have a fucking eye on their systems. Just like all control systems, really. You can't just automate these problems away when you're dealing with municipal water systems, especially. Things can happen that... so instrumentation can fail, and regularly does fail with water, because water just has a tendency to fuck everything up. It's a solvent, and it always it always finds a way to corrode and destroy whatever it's come into contact with, which is why a lot of old pipe systems just kind of erode into nothing eventually, because water constantly leaches minerals out of these pipes. Go ahead.
Yes, one might even refer to water as a universal solvent.
It truly is. Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah. That's literally what they call it.
It's a reason why you get smaller when you get old.
Yes, because all the water is leaving your system.
Just sucking the calcium out of your bones.
Yeah. It's washing you away.
No, but seriously, when I was working in pharmaceutical environments, we had a kind of purified water that had all of the minerals stripped out of it, right? So this water doesn't have anything nutritional left in it anymore, and you actually would suffer if you drank it, because the water always attempts to kind of rebalance itself. It's not a conscious decision that the water is making, of course. It's just that water has this property to leach minerals out of whatever it can, to a certain extent, where it's not super mineral saturated, but kind of has
everything wants to get to that homeostasis.
Right, exactly. It's always going to reach that homeostasis, and it doesn't matter what material you're working with. It could be stainless steel. Stainless steel is still at risk. Even 316 grade stainless steel is still at risk of having minerals leached out of it. With
the
these...
3-6 mafia is threatened by having minerals leached out of them.
Yeah, I lived in a neighborhood that
this
was
better
built...
be a 3-6 mafia joke.
No. It was built in the 80s, when the late 80s, when Texas and even the capital was privatizing a lot of stuff and uh, uh, deregulating construction codes and stuff like that. And every single water main in that neighborhood that I lived in were all failing at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I kind of dealt with this when I was working for a city down here in Southern California. A lot of our
Doxed.
water infrastructure
Doxed.
was, yeah, Southern California, a city in Southern California. Somebody doxed me.
It's a small
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There's only like 10 or 15 or like 1,000 cities in Southern California, right?
yeah,
Oh, I
it's
thought
like
you were gonna say there's only like 10 to 15 people in Southern California.
the like city never stops. That was
Yeah.
what weirded me out about moving to Southern California.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a trip to me too because I grew up in rural Washington, and it was like, oh, so now I'm in a different city, but no city ever stopped happening while I was driving.
Didn't trip me out
Yeah.
at all because I'm not some kind of fucking weird
Yeah,
podunk
you
loser
grew up
like
in
you.
Southern California,
Yeah.
doxed.
No.
But yeah, no, I was starting to deal with this problem when I was working for one of the cities down here, which is that all of our like major water infrastructure was reaching that like 20 to 30-year-old mark, and a lot of stuff that was made, back in the 90s and like early aughts wasn't built with longevity in mind. It was built to just like, oh shit, we're dealing with a bunch of expansion. Get the cheapest thing you can put into the fucking ground in the ground, and that's how we'll run the water system. And similarly to how like big city infrastructure works with like high rises and stuff like that, the thought at the time was, well, we're gonna deal with like such economic prosperity that we'll always have the money to do the necessary repairs to this infrastructure that we've made like short-term kind of negotiations on.
That's how I
And
play
then
my life.
yeah, and of course, the economy growth is not static. It's up and down sometimes, and then when you have an incident like COVID-19 come along, and I've got water mains that need to be repaired, or like underground pipes in parks that need to be repaired, I no longer have the money anymore because you can't just assume that everything is always going to go better, right? Like you can't just assume that growth is just going to keep happening. There's going to be stagnations, and not a lot of cities ever prepared for that. And so, they took the short term cheap option, neglecting to take that more expensive long term option. Because they thought like, yeah, no, it'll be fine. 30 years from now, the economy is going to be even better. We'll have even more money to spend, and we can replace all of the shitty pipes that we put in here with newer pipes, right? Um,
Yeah,
not
like
not the case.
that is something that I noticed with doing like underground electrical lines. The customers, and by customers I mean like the builder, the person that's selling a building to somebody, and they want you to do something a certain way to make it quick and save money, and then you try to explain to them, well, granted, like my company doesn't tell me how much they charge our customers, so I can't actually give them numbers, but it's like it's going to definitely be very expensive and difficult to replace a pipe,
Oh
like
yeah,
in the
for sure.
same place without like fucking everything up.
Well, yeah, and that's the kind of like madness that occurs in this sort of situation. Is one of the like major, huge like nightmare projects that I ended up having to run at the city is, this pipe was installed 30 years ago. Um and it was one of those galvanized steel pipes that people thought were like indestructible for some reason.
Oh yeah, those are
Right.
all rusting away,
Yeah,
and it's
those are
only
those
taking like 15 to 30 years.
yeah, they were like the stress tests that were put on them kind of indicated that, oh yeah, these pipes will last for like 100 years or more. And it turns out that it's more like 15 to 30 years if you're lucky. Um And so this pipe was installed like 30 years ago at one of the parks that I managed the maintenance for, and the pipe just like completely fucking ruptured, right? So we had this underground water leak, which is a danger in itself because that can cause sinkholes. And then on top of that, 30 years ago, this pipe was installed. 10 years ago, we installed a sidewalk over the top of this pipe. Um, and so now we have to dig up this entire fucking sidewalk that's over this pipe, right? Which just adds more and more cost to the whole fucking thing. And just creates like this nightmare situation where now you're having to like hire 5 different contractors to do this one job because like one contractor's like, yeah, I'll do the pipe work. Oh no, I don't do excavation. And then you gotta find the excavation contractor. Then you gotta find like the people who are gonna be willing to like do the concrete work after and stuff like that. So I guess more like 3 contractors, but
Then
I can be
you
hyperbolic here.
you find a gas line that a guy fucking who had put his 2 weeks in, the guy who's supposed to put it on the city prints, fucking didn't put it on the city prints, which
Right,
happens
yeah.
all the fucking time.
Yeah,
For
man.
somebody who has to like dig into the ground, like I find like, and it's like, oh look, a gas line that we almost fucking hit.
There were so many instances when I was working there that the city started like really getting involved with like private financial sort of stuff, and one of the like recurring projects was installing cell phone towers, and they were installing cell phone towers in areas that were like already kind of developed, so you couldn't just like trench everything. So what they were doing was they were doing what do you call it? Like the underground burrowing shit, right? Um,
Oh, directional boring.
yes, directional boring. Thank you.
Yeah.
So they were doing that kind of shit, and then it like turned out like they would calculate, okay, the gas or electrical lines are at such and such depth, so as long as we go 10 feet down, then we're fine. And then it turned out like whoever like um measured like the depth of those original lines was off by like a couple of feet, and so they'd rupture a fucking gas line or they'd rupture a fucking electrical line. Thankfully, it never turned out to be something like catastrophic and deadly, but still became a massive fucking like pain in the ass because what they were trying to avoid was to dig up all these like uh sidewalks and park infrastructure sort of things. And then it turns out, okay, we tried boring, which cost money. Now we have to actually do the work of like tearing all this shit up, which costs even more money. So yeah, the cost
And
saving measure
the
ended
cost
up.
in the cost in human life too for the workers that have to do this, like a long-term
Yeah.
complicated digging project to install stuff. It's like I think 100 workers die and then 300 more are severely injured.
Yeah, trenching is super dangerous.
Yeah.
Speaking of directional boring, yeah, I'm
You're
not
bored?
sure that I'm not sure that the listener wants to continue hearing us talk about all the jobs that we've worked for the next
Fine.
45 minutes.
Oh, I just want them to be scared of what's in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the point we're
Yeah.
making.
I am really excited about potentially seeing more and more use of more and more use of this like ultra high performance concrete, and then eventually finding out that that's not actually as high performing as people think either.
Oh yeah, it's
And then
probably
watching buildings collapse.
yeah, it's going to be worse than what we had 200 years ago or something.
Yeah, it's concrete, but we put PVA in it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll move on. But Lindsay in the comments asked, out of curiosity, what material would actually last that long, 100 years? Pretty much nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
there are materials that last a very long time. But when it comes to something like you're trying to run water through it, right? Like you can't do concrete pipes. We tried doing that before. They always erode because concrete is porous. So like it's really a determination of like what you're using the material for, and what the material is, right?
Yeah, because like PVC doesn't erode, but it becomes brittle
Yeah, it's not strong enough.
over
right?
time. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
when it comes to like vibrations of things like driving over a road or the geology shifting underground.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think one of the ultimate lessons from this is just that nothing is permanent, and we shouldn't pretend it is. And that
Exactly.
things require
Right.
maintenance and investment and labor.
Which is why we should come up with long-term plans.
Exactly. Not my favorite plan personally, but the if I ignore this for long enough, it'll just get better.
So we'll continue with this article because there's an important note in this article. So an ill-fated water contract with Siemens Incorporated would make matters worse. Originally billed as a way to streamline billing and save money for the city over time, faulty meters sent erroneous bills to customers if a bill was generated at all. To protect consumers, city leaders over the years have instituted payment moratoriums as the city worked to find a way to fix the system. As a result, the city's water revenue coffers dried up to the point that money from the general fund was pulled to make spot repairs over the years. This is a very bad thing, I can tell you, as somebody who worked in a city environment. The general fund is not supposed to be used for repairs like this. It's supposed to be used for improvement projects, stuff like that.
Supposed to be used for buying more generals.
Right, yeah. The saga only came to an end last year after the city reached an $89 million settlement, but little was left to have an impact on the physical system after attorney's fees and the city repaying itself to refill its dry water revenue coffers. So basically, getting in bed with a private company just put a pause button on fixing things. Never made anything better, of course. And because things deteriorate over time, actually just made things worse. So go ahead and go to the next link, John.
Yeah, one of the things about like privatization too, which I'm not saying that like giving things over to the government is necessarily the answer to our problems. Like they can't fuck it up, but at least there's not like a problem coming to an equitable compromise when you cut ties with the corporation that has been running your water. Like it's expensive to just fire these companies.
For sure.
If you even can, because now you have a contract with a private person or a private entity.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if those companies like really fuck up their contract. The terms of the contract still stand in a lot of cases because, of course, the courts like favor corporations. It all sucks. It's all bad. So another problem that Jackson has, and a lot of places in America have, is that there's still a bunch of pipes in the ground that are made out of something called lead. And lead, as we know, poisons you and makes your brain bad. So this is an updated article that we've looked at before. And it's from the Brookings Institute. So like this is the most conservative, but still like almost objective analysis you can get on this sort of subject. But this little subheader here says, how much would it cost to get lead out of the U.S. as drinking water? A back of the envelope calculation based on EPA's estimate of average replacement cost per line, $4,700, an assumption of 6 to 10 million lead service lines across the country suggests that the cost would range from 28 billion to 47 billion.
That's a really low estimate.
That is extremely low. And that's why I use this, because even the low estimate is like pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, like that's like the worst paid plumbers in the country.
Right. Putting Biden's originally proposed $45 billion near the top of that range, but the $15 billion legislated well below it. Some of you may have heard that there was a infrastructure bill that was passed recently, and it really only allocated like $15 billion to replacing lead pipes. which again is on the low side of the estimate from like one of the most conservative estimators that you could probably get. So as a whole nation, there is a problem with water service, and we are not addressing it properly. And we're we're dealing with this situation where our infrastructure has been neglected for. Jackson, Mississippi, is not an outlier here. Our water systems, especially, have been neglected for probably 100 years, or at least like 9 decades. Uh, and we're going to start seeing this thing pop up more and more. It happened, a couple of years ago in Flint. There's a couple of other places across the country that have had like pretty bad water problems, right? Especially if you live somewhere where fracking has happened. And we can see that as maybe like an artificial what's acceleration of like bad water problems, but it's still the same problem. We don't have proper water infrastructure, and we haven't properly maintained our water infrastructure as a whole nation. And then the best thing that we've gotten for water infrastructure in the last like 80 years is like well below what we actually need it to be. Um, so go ahead and go to the next link. The other problem is that being a public service worker isn't very good. If you want to like make ends meet, or like elevate your class status, or like, I don't know, live a decent life in a lot of cases. And so a lot of water plant workers are actually kind of retiring now, and they're having trouble finding ways to replace these people because
Because
the
all the youngsters are getting degrees in philosophy and drinking JavaScript.
right, yeah. There's no incentive to working in a water plant because it's you know you're understaffed almost like without fail. Every water municipality, or every municipal water plant is understaffed, and it's almost intentionally understaffed because even Democrats want this kind of stuff to be taken over by private enterprise, so they don't have to worry about it anymore, and they don't have to govern appropriately, right? They don't have to get themselves mired in like the the ability for you to turn on your tap and get clean water. They want to just like do performative politics on the grand stage. Um, so Republicans, of course, are like defunding a lot of their water plants. Democrats also defund their water plants, and it all leads to the same thing, which is to try to get a private corporation to take this thing over. They have the profit motive, so they'll make it run efficiently. Of course, is the thing they have in their minds, but that's not the case. You get a contract like Siemens, where yeah, they promise that they're gonna automate all this stuff, and it turns out that they don't actually do that efficiently, and everything's fucked up, and now your water system no longer has any funding. Um, the other problem, of course, is that public entities aren't really hiring people the same way they used to anymore. Um, a lot of pension plans have been cut from the public workforce. So like you don't even have like the promise that like, hey, you work your 30 years or whatever, and then we pay you a pension so you can retire like respectably or whatever. A lot of that is going away, and so the draw of like, yeah, I don't get paid quite as much as a private worker in this instance, but I do have like a long-term pension program, that's going away. Uh, the workforce in a lot of public entities is getting older, and now they're starting to retire, and there's nobody to replace them. So here we have one article from this is a company talking about the aging workforce of the water industry. The next link is also the same thing. If you
Could
want to
I?
look at that real quick.
Do you mind if I add something?
Sure, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Like from what I understand, liquids moving through pipes specialist or plumbers, that used to be something that was very regulated on a national level.
Yeah.
But now there is no national plumber's license, which used to be like the baseline for like anybody that did plumbing, which is gas and liquid moving through a pipe, which whether that's water or sulfuric acid, that's all
Yes,
falls under
yes.
the purview of a plumber.
And piss.
And
piss.
and
poop
and piss. Yeah,
Blood,
yeah, blood.
Pus.
You need a plumber.
liquefied remains.
Yeah,
Every-
this
your
is kind
neighbor,
of
'cause they won't shut the fuck up when you're trying to record a podcast. You son of a bitch.
But
Shut
what
up.
I-
Hold on. No, you need to be. Stop. I will put you in the tub, and I will melt you.
Oh,
You
no.
understand me? Sorry, I'm yelling at Jimmy.
Yeah.
He won't
Your
shut
gimp.
the fuck up. He's
But they got rid of the like the overarching license for a plumber on the national level.
that's cool.
But so now you can hire somebody at a water plant and you can send them to the follow-on certificate courses that a licensed plumber would go to. So
Yep.
they're only trained to like look at a dial. But when the dial tells them that something's fucked up, they don't act like that was a problem like here where I live, where like a technician was like, well, I could tell that it was fucked up, but I didn't know what to do about it.
That's good enough sometimes. Go ahead and go to the next link.
And also you can pay that guy less because
Oh,
that's really what it all kind of boils down to is making the cost of the operation less, right?
Yeah.
But while you do that, you also make the efficiency of the operation and the reliability of the operation way sketchier. But you can in your quarterly earnings report report a profit to your shareholders, and that's what's important to the private company.
Yeah, because they replace their fleet of plumbers with a fleet of various types of technicians.
Yeah. Go to the next link.
Next link.
This is just the same thing.
This
Different company.
motherfucker's mustache is magnificent. Look at that fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
in the bottom left there, yeah, that's quite the mustache.
What a king.
Same
Damn,
sort
I'd
of
let
thing.
him
This
fuck
is
me.
this is
Let him
another
bend me, break me in half, tickle me with a stash.
Same sort of thing. Another industry sort of reporter saying, "Hey, wait a second. We don't have any water workers left anymore. What's happening to them? Oh, they're retiring, and nobody is joining this workforce anymore because there's no incentive to join it." And then go ahead and go to the link after this, which is the general issue with public workers is very much the same. No matter what specified role you're in. So this is a Time magazine article that says no clean water, unplowed streets, what the public sector's hiring problem means for all of us. And essentially it gets down to the same issue that I've been bringing up this whole time, which is there are no more incentives to being in public service. This is kind of intentional. I mean, the article doesn't really say this part, but this is me saying this part. It's kind of intentional that public service jobs are being defunded. They don't really have the same incentive structure that they used to have in terms of like pension programs or even like decent pay. There's been an overarching project by a lot of Republicans, of course, or probably all Republicans, and a lot of Democrats on top of that, to essentially seek to privatize all of these things that we have relied on the government to do. And the reason they want to do that is because they have a bunch of people they rub elbows with who work in industries who would like to capitalize on the government's failings. Um, and so what we're really running into here is you're going to start seeing a lot more privatized solutions to what used to be just like the public assured operations, right? Um, you're gonna see a lot of companies come in and say, "Oh wow, it looks like your Department of Transportation isn't really running the roads right," and they're going to not mention the part that the Department of Transportation has been defunded for like 10 years or more. They're just going to say, "Wow, they're not running it right. What we really need is the free market solution to this." And this is happening more and more. A lot of water companies are becoming, or a lot of water utilities rather, are becoming privatized companies. A lot of electrical companies, or a lot of electrical utilities, have already been privatized into companies. We live with this sort of thing, especially in places like California and Texas, of course, where we have massive failures of our electrical systems. And the same thing is happening to water, which, as important as electricity is, water is probably more important because you literally need that to fucking live.
Well, you need the electricity to keep the plants running, though.
Right, but yeah, I mean, you can have a massive power outage and still have power to the water facility. Like
As
Well,
as a
like,
guy with
well,
a lot of
you would-
houseplants,
you
I've
would-
never
you
had
would
to
hope so.
electrocute a single one of them.
I'm sorry, what was that, Danko?
As a person with a lot of houseplants, I've never had to electrocute a single one of them. So I don't know what
Well,
you're talking about.
You,
with them
sound
needing
like, you sound
electricity.
like an amateur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
No, I mean
gotta-
that's probably why they're all dead because I'm not tasing them enough.
Right, yeah. You got to give them some energy.
Yeah, that's how you photosynthesize. You got to plug your plants in.
So go ahead and go to the next link, which I think just reiterates what I was saying about privatization. Yeah. There's going to be a graph halfway down this article, and mind you, this is from 2015. So things have gotten worse, 7 years worse from this article. But go ahead and scroll down to the graph that's down here. And yeah, that's it. So for the typical household, privately owned water utility service costs 59% more than public water service. And that's about $185 each year. Again, this is 7 years ago money. So I don't know what the rate of inflation is exactly, but imagine that's probably more at like $1,000 now. Investor-owned utilities typically charge 59% more for water service than local government utilities. Food and Water Watch compiled the water rates of the 500 largest community water systems in the country. We found that private for-profit companies charge households an average of $500 a year for 60,000 gallons of water. That's 185 more than what local governments charge for the same amount of water. Local governments don't have the profit motive. Local governments can sometimes fuck up, and they often become underfunded because of whoever you put in a political position over that local government. But even despite all that, it turns out that having a water service that doesn't have a profit motive in mind makes it cheaper for everybody because there's no cut off the top, right? There's nobody saying, well, yeah, but like it's cool that I give you water, but I also have to like make a profit off of this. Public utilities don't care about the profit motive, so it's just all kind of at cost. So, thing to think
Yeah.
about in this circumstance.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go to the next link. Forget what the next link is, actually. Oh yeah. So while people in Jackson, Mississippi can't drink water, and people in Flint, Michigan haven't had clean water for like almost 2 decades now, right? Well, maybe a decade, a solid decade. The
Well,
Biden
I mean,
administration
they probably
is
shouldn't have been drinking the water for like the last 60 years, but
right. Yeah, longer than we
Because
knew
no
it
one
was a
should drink
problem.
water.
Yeah. The Biden administration preps 1.1 billion arms sale to Taiwan. So we're trying to do another proxy war instead of handling our problems at home. Essentially, is what this boils down to. This comes like a month and a half after Nancy Pelosi decided to make a stop at Taiwan for no reason. Also
To be fair,
had
that
her
was really funny.
yeah. Also brought her son along, who has a significant stock portfolio in one of the companies in Taiwan that makes what was it? Was it batteries or something? I think it was batteries. But yeah, very cool stuff. That we're willing to just like, without any question, throw $1 billion of weapons to Taiwan. But you know, no clean drinking water for people that live here. That's kind of the end of my links. I know we have some Danko links to get to,
All right,
but
bye guys.
no.
I'm a
Let's
funny
let's
guy,
take
man.
a take a little piddle break.
yes, my union
damn
piss
it.
break.
It's John's
Fuck
union
this.
piss break. We have to take
This
it.
is
Yeah.
I refuse. I'm not gonna pee.
Well, you can
I'm not
talk
gonna pee.
to the
I'm not gonna pee.
you do what
Yeah.
I'm not
come.
gonna pee.
I'm not
You
gonna
can't
come.
make me pee.
Yeah, do what you need to, or don't do what you need to.
We will be.
You guys should just do what I do and keep a bottle under your desk for when you're podcasting.
Well, I do that, but I have to empty it out eventually.
You
Yeah,
got a
I-
trash can in your bedroom.
I actually have a catheter.
Yeah.
It just goes to the tube just like hangs out loose on the floor.
Hmm.
But
The
You just
catheter
like
is more of a
inserting it.
kink
You just
thing.
like
than-
cathing. Yeah.
yeah, I actually
it hurts
use
when I cath.
my union pee break is my 5 minutes a week that I use trading Bitcoin actually. Yeah.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
that's
That's double dipping a little bit, but I respect it. Anyways, we'll be right back.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Beep 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 beep. iTunes. Anyway, hey Mike.
What's up, man? What were you talking about just now?
No, I just I keep on getting these spam texts, like an inordinate amount of them. Like, Jesus, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, like 12 to 15 a day, easily, and it's all right wing, and half of them don't call me by my name. They call me by a different family member's name, which you can probably guess who, because they signed me up for it. I'm almost certain. And it's just like, I am going to get convinced to donate $3,000 to Mike Pompeo for no fucking reason. It's insane.
Mike
yeah,
Pompeo and Mike Pillow. Good stuff, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. I get a lot of spam messages now too. I think this is something I keep meaning to look into, and I heard from somebody else that this is a real thing. But there's some kind of like federal ordinance or like some kind of like law that lapsed that basically used to say, hey, you can't just like spam people however you want to. And since that lapsed, like that's why people have probably noticed that they're getting a lot more spam calls. Like the your car extended warranty calls, right? Like those have been happening way more recently, and that's because some kind of like law lapsed and was never renewed that said people couldn't do that shit.
I mean, I'm so inured to it at this point that I it's like how there are smaller and larger infinities, where if there was actually an increase, I don't know if I would notice it. It's just such a constant in my life now.
In my case, I'm probably not helping myself because I respond to these things until I can talk to a real human, and then I use this as like a aggression ventilation technique where I just yell at this person until they hang up on me. And I don't feel bad about it because they're scammers. I'm like, ooh, icky scammers.
Yeah, they probably do submit their phone records and show how much time they've kept you on the line as a way to like they probably sell you on the like valuable list,
Right, and the thing is,
I
commute a lot, so like I've got lots of free time when I'm doing these commutes. So win-win, I guess, for both of us. I get to let out some aggression. They get to, I don't know, show their metrics as keeping me on the line for like 0.5 minutes longer than most people, I guess. But yeah. All right. So our next link comes to us through Danko.
Wait, what did I do? Did I do that?
You did do this. You also did the Tim Pool link, so don't act innocent.
Yeah.
All
right, get rid of that bullshit.
There's
just scroll down, I think.
No, there's oh wait. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah. Hit that X. There you go.
Like
so,
nothing was happening.
Because it's been memed so much, I assume that a lot of people already know about this. But for the second time in as many years, the Suez Canal was blocked by another ship that run aground, or didn't run aground. I think it. Well, what is technically running aground? Does it
running aground just means that like
shallow water?
Yeah,
but you're still hitting ground.
Your boat is deeper than the water is.
Okay, then yeah, it ran aground, I believe. But which was a happy day for everyone. Just everyone was extremely pleased with this, and it could never, it would never change, just as it never changed before. But do we have the follow-up link?
We do have the follow-up link. John, please.
And then the tanker was refloated after running aground in Egypt's Suez Canal. So how long was that? It was like a day or something. A day of glorious happiness and joy for us all.
Well, I guess they know how to
And,
do it now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, a funny thing in this article is the incident occurred in the same southern single-lane stretch of the canal where a giant cargo ship, the Ever Given, ran aground for 6 days in March 2021. So this is a problem child for this thoroughfare.
Yeah, but I mean, the really sad thing about this is that I don't think that they ended up doing a dick in the water like the Ever Given did, which is pretty sad. Did we ever end up hearing any info on that? I'm assuming that even if they did do it on purpose, which they definitely did it on purpose, they wouldn't admit to it, right?
Yeah,
it's one of those things where like the economic imperative like overrules any good reporting on the subject.
Yeah.
So like we'll never know the truth of what really happened with the Ever Given, which is that somebody drew a dick in the water and then crashed a boat.
Also, Ever Given is just such a wonderful name. It sounds like a 125-year-old person trying to swear.
Mhm.
That Ever Given boat.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. I love it. Anyway, that's all the news is there, really. I just I don't know why God keeps tempting us with good things and then taking them away.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things was the Ever Given blocking like what was it like 55% of trade or some
Yeah.
astronomical number when you
Of, like,
consider like the
world
global
trade,
global trade implications of it. Yeah.
And
It's,
it's the really
also not like a private sector is basically or the private sector not planning shit out. That one pathway cripples the fucking world
right.
market.
Yeah. Oh, now we got to go the old route around the
And
African
really-
Horn.
The really fucked up thing about this too is just the fact that there was a moment in history where the only pure good in the world was tugboats.
Yeah.
And now they're villains too.
Yep.
Tugboats are assholes because
Yeah.
they keep fixing this non-problem of shutting down global trade.
Sad day.
Ever
when-
Given,
when-
the ship that keeps on taking.
Yep.
Get it?
Okay.
All right, next.
Yeah. Next link. Which is we started with Tim Pool. We're not necessarily going to end with Tim Pool, but this was
Yeah.
another link of yours, and I guess we're just doing like I said, bodies of water. Is the theme of this episode.
I will point out ahead of time, like not that first song was good in any way, but this song fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah, no,
I don't know that we need to sit through it, and it is explicitly here's the funny thing about this one, right? So it is explicitly political, but in such a way that it's so ambiguous as to make itself non-political in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like it's whereas the other one, which was entirely intentionally anti-political or non-political, I think he's trying to like pivot out of it and just be like, I make sad songs about girls. Somehow still contained more of a political valence in my mind because it was commenting on its own like vacuousness and a weird gender politic that Tim Pool is attached to.
Sure.
But anyway, so I can't sit through this whole song, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think we want to either. So this is Timcast IRL, which is amazing that that's the name
he
of
named his
of
band after his podcast.
Right. I guess that's the name of his
What?
band. Timcast IRL is also the name of his podcast. But the song's title is Will of the People, which
You know what my favorite band is actually now? Pod Save America.
Oh man. They did an interview recently that I need to look into. Maybe more on that later. But go ahead.
Damn, Come Town would be a great band.
On the march in the morning, he called his soldiers down to take aim at the traitors.
Is it now? Is he like a weird ripoff of REM?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happens when someone listens to REM and fucking The Used in the same sitting, and then tries to make weird like political music. Also, I really love that it starts off with so in this music video, and it does nothing else from here is going to matter, but at the very beginning here, you have all these cogs that are marked with like hammers or whatever because they're cogs in a communist machine, etc. But my favorite part of that opening is that these people are tearing down a statue of what I assume is supposed to be both a stand-in for Saddam Hussein and for Karl Marx.
Right.
And I really, really love the fact that these people, if you ask 90% of the people who listen to this dumb bullshit like Tim Pool, people that really believe themselves to be politically oriented, but have never learned like a salient fact in their lives, I'm pretty sure most of them would believe you if you told them that Karl Marx was like the leader of the USSR for a period.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
Like I think they genuinely think that.
I've literally talked to people who like they were arguing, making an argument, and they were like, yeah, no, he must have been pretty dumb because like of all the people who starved in Russia. And I was like, wait, you think that he led Russia? And they like unironically fucking believe that.
Yeah, the craziest thing about Karl Marx is how many people he sent to the gulag during the Cultural Revolution. You remember when Karl Marx killed all the sparrows in China?
It's pretty based. It's pretty based what Karl Marx did in Cuba, though.
Oh yeah.
To gun those rebels down, now they'll face the consequences. Held themselves above. This is the will of the people. Said, I wish I could spare them, make them see the path. Tempting as that sounds, I'll have to pass. I know what's needed for the good of my people to save them. Out in the dark with
Of course. That's
yeah.
that's the other really fucking confusing thing about this is that it's so heavy-handed, and yet I still don't know who the good or bad guys are supposed to be in this.
Yeah.
I know who the bad guys are supposed to be. I guess they're all supposed to be the bad guys, but I think he's identifying with this weird Antifa guy who hates the communists, but also they're evil anarchists. I guess this guy's supposed to be Machno or something. Like I don't fucking know what's going on. It's entirely it's just it's incomprehensible. Which again is the most amazing thing about these people, like on the really grifty end, like like Ruben or Tim Pool as like easy as they are as targets. But the fascinating thing about them is that they're so caught up in this grift of pretending to be nominally left or liberal or something like that, and then saying, but because I'm so left or liberal, Sargon of Akkad did the same kind of thing.
Yep.
Because I'm one of these lefties, I'm going to be hypercritical of the left, which, you know, should be critical of it, but all the critiques are essentially, you know, American libertarianism, right?
Or,
Yeah.
It's just we should get rid of all of the like the safety net, and we should kill trans people. Or whatever.
Right. That's what real leftists do.
but yeah, that's the fascinating thing about it is that when they are when they're put in the position of doing something other than some kind of really weak, weird polemic, and they make like a piece of art, like one of these two pieces, you can see how weird and reflexive and nonsensical their thinking genuinely is.
Sure,
because they can't logic their way through making a statement. They get caught in the same weird loops where like they've just broken their brains.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're grifters up until a point, and then you realize when you see them making something like this, and you can sit with not what they're saying, but the way that they say things, that they are simply people who broke their brains by lying.
Well, yeah, and yeah, exactly what you're saying is, you know, they're grifters. They have to maintain this lie, and then the more that they have to maintain this lie, they essentially just have to like give in to the lie themselves, and that's where that
you break it.
yeah, that's where their brain breakage happens. Is now they're like starting to huff their own bullshit, and they don't even like know which way is up or down anymore themselves, as they're like trying to tell the pay pigs that they have, you know, like, oh no, this is up and this is down. They don't even know themselves anymore. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it's
Really wild.
I guess they start like huffing their own farts, because I feel like they always go through a period of time where they're like they're saying something extreme, like, you know, revolutionary like thinking, but then also trying to walk it back because they don't actually want fucking revolutionary types running around.
Oh yeah.
Well, and they also don't want to be held accountable because they ultimately like believe in the current power structure, and they know if they like really inspire some kind of like violent act or something like that, the current power structure that they ultimately believe in will come back to them and be like, "Hey, dude, what was up with that?" And they don't ever want to have to answer for that. So
Yeah.
they allude to like, yeah, let's do some shooty bad guy stuff. Government's bad and we shooty bad guy stuff, right? And then like
Yeah,
when the power structure comes back around to them, they're like, oh no, I was just, you know, being poetic or whatever, or like you can't pin this on me because I have plausible deniability in some way.
Yeah, it's
Right,
it's hard to understand an argument about government overreach when you've got a cop's dick in your mouth.
Right.
Yeah, you know, that's when it
Danko,
becomes the
they-
most
they really-
unintelligible for me.
they want to have their cake and shoot their neighbor over not having a cake.
Right, exactly.
We don't have to watch the rest of it. It's pretty much this.
Great.
It just continues like this.
Glad you said that. Go ahead and go to the next link. Not water related. Something that came to my attention
We can make
earlier
it water
today.
related.
Um,
Oh, it's a
there.
rainbow. Come on. Yeah, that's water related.
No. The story is much funnier than it seems with this headline. So North Texas School District rejects "In God We Trust" signs in Arabic rainbow. Texas, which some of us may or may not live in, uh, last year adopted this law that states a school or learning institution essentially has to post in a conspicuous area any signage that says "In God We Trust," as long as it was privately donated to the school. So what they're trying to do there is they're trying to circumvent the separation of church and state by saying, well, the state isn't saying you had to believe in this thing. However, if a religious institution wants to donate "In God We Trust" signs to the school, then we can put "In God We Trust" signs in the school.
How shitty are their lawyers? Like they just had this whole thing in Oklahoma, which is right next to Texas.
Right. So this passed last year in Texas. And I mean, we can just watch the video here. The gal will tell us everything we
Is
need to
it
know.
This one?
Yeah, the top one.
Okay.
You gotta roll it back and unmute it.
Well, a parent in North Texas tested the "In God We Trust" sign law for Texas schools. As we've reported, the state passed a law making mandatory signs of the nation's motto at schools if those signs are privately donated. A Christian conservative cell phone provider donated signs to Carroll ISD in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And last night, a parent attempted to donate "In God We Trust" signs written in Arabic and decorated with rainbow colors. The school board president informed him that schools already have enough posters, but that parent wasn't buying the explanation.
It doesn't say you have to stop at one, so that is your decision to stop at one, right? Why is more God not good? And are you saying you don't have like 1 square feet of space in our buildings?
Well, he was right. That state law does not mention a limit on donated signs. Carroll ISD refused to comment. These signs are up at schools in Tomball and Cy-Fair ISD as well. And we also have to mention that the cell phone company that donated those signs also funded the campaigns of conservative candidates in several school board races, and that includes Carroll ISD.
You know, these stories they do kick off the fantasy that maybe I should have listened to my mother and become a lawyer.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Because I'd love to just like watch the news and just like cackle and laugh as I sued a school district for this Pakistani or Indian man, wherever he was from.
Yeah, so this law goes into effect like last year. Earlier this year, a Christian conservative cell phone company, which is a thing that apparently exists.
It's wild.
It's called Patriot Mobile, if I recall correctly.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
That gets me so hard.
Yeah. So Patriot Mobile funds the campaign of like one of the more prominent school board members in this district. After like also petitioning for this law to come into passing, which is if a school district is donated signs that say "In God We Trust," they have to display them. So the school district funds this guy, gets him into the school board. Also, this law passes, and so the first thing they do is they're like, "Hey, we're gonna gift this school a bunch of "In God We Trust" signs." And so this wonderful parent challenges that by saying, "Okay, what about "In God We Trust" in Arabic, or what about "In God We Trust" with rainbow colors behind it? Or what about "In God We Trust" with the trans flag behind it? And of course, he gets rejected because it's never been about and the law does not say anything about any of these other stipulations. It just says that if a "In God We Trust" sign is donated to the school, it has to be posted in a conspicuous location. So they decide that their interpretation of the law is, well, one group already donated "In God We Trust" signs, so we don't need to take "In God We Trust" signs from another group. Um, that's not how the law reads at all. Unlimited amount of people could potentially, by the law, donate "In God We Trust" signs to Texas school districts, which just shows how like stupid and short-sighted they are to begin with.
Yeah.
The other stupid and short-sighted thing is, oh, you think having "In God We Trust" signs in a school is going to like make people believe in God more? No.
No.
This is like flailing against the the ultimate conclusion of most people is that like they're not going to believe in God as the Christian evangelicals believe in it in the first place, or they just won't believe in any God whatsoever, regardless of if you have "In God We Trust" signs around your building. It's really just sad to a certain point, but also amazing that they're choosing to read the law in this way, that they won't accept the "In God We Trust" signs, and there's no like in the law there's nothing that says there can't be like a certain color to the signs or anything like that. So this guy was completely within the law to submit these signs to the school district and have them put up on the wall, but of course they refuse to read the law that way.
Yeah, and it's also it's in Texas, it's actually really hard to fucking get to influence the school boards and districts. Because I don't know if it's I don't know what other states do, but Texas has the independent school district system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which like school districts are like their own little government. They've got their own cops now, and the school
So good.
boards. You have to like take them to federal court. Like it's like the only way to get them to do anything. As long as they're not like well, no, even this guy, he's just like this school board's just violating the law.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Good on him. Love that kind of guy, and hope he's successful.
Yeah.
But he probably won't be because law isn't real.
Yeah, especially for the leadership in the government, the
Yeah.
law people. It's not real for them.
The law folks, if you will.
Yeah. But yeah, actually all the times that I got tricked into participating in Christian related activities at my public school in Texas, it didn't make me a Christian.
Which is why they're flailing against
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah. It did make me a shitty edgelord atheist later in high school when I finally snapped.
which may have actually increased church recruitment. I was that way for a while too, and I probably talked some people into being God-fearing Christians because I was an insufferable atheist for a while.
Yeah.
I just wish people would stop calling me Dick Dorkins.
No, we won't stop that.
Yeah.
Dank
Dankins.
Dork Dickens.
All right. Well,
Dork Dickless.
This marks the end of our water-based podcast. Danko, would you like to?
Our usual oil-based podcast.
Yeah, we normally have actually a plastic-based podcast.
Yeah, oil. Yeah.
I prefer ours when they're acidic.
Yeah, our pH balance has normalized a little bit for this episode. However, Danko, is there anything you would like to pitch before we move on to the void of nothingness?
I don't care about anything, man. I don't give a shit. No. Yeah. Patreon.com/Truncata, TRUNCATA. Surprised you guys. Didn't expect to hear anything about that during this episode, did you? Anyway, we do our weekly workshop there. We're taking this weekend off. Happy Labor Day, folks. But we're going to be coming back. We're going to be doing some Nick Land again. Everyone's favorite guy to either be problematically defensive of or irritatingly bothered by. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. And that is going to be our way to kick off a whole new season of sessions with a new theme, which will be a little bit of a surprise, but it will be, I think, a fun, enlightening, mind-bending kind of experience. I'm finalizing the syllabus for it this weekend, but
is the theme accelerationism?
No, it's not connected to that, but it's not that. But good guess. Good guess. Is it beat boops? But yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. So I think a good idea for your workshop that it would make me go to it is accelerationist themed erotic fiction.
We've done that once or twice, probably.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys fucking tell me?
Well, you never joined the
You
workshop.
gotta show up sometime.
So, yeah, you gotta show up.
I showed up once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did briefly.
Yeah.
Was that one of the open workshops? Is that like the Brahms one or something?
I think so. Yeah. Anyways, John, do you have anything to pitch? No.
Yeah, no. Your water's probably poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My pitch
Never
is
shower, don't drink
boil
water.
your water.
Boil your water. Oh, boil your water. I think you said oil your water.
No. Well, you can do both, I guess.
The
just
squeaky
keep them
water
separate.
gets the grease.
Yeah. Cool. Well, of course, the Benzo Rehab Dungeon is and always will be a free project or broadcast, is what I normally say. I don't know why I said project. You're in the projects now. The Benzo Rehab projects.
Gosh.
Benzo Rehab shanties.
Yeah.
There you go. The
Benzo Rehab
favela.
Ghetto. Did you say favela? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Any
Brazil
minute from
mentioned.
now, United States armed forces are
death
going to
squad
burst
is
through your door and shoot you for being involved with any kind of socialist project in Latin
Hell yeah.
America. This is the Benzo Rehab Favela. Hope you don't die. No. The Benzo Rehab Dungeon is and always will be a free broadcast. If you would like to donate to this project, you can go to patreon.com/Benzo Rehab Dungeon. Give as much or as little as you would like to. It won't get you anything special, except for I'll feel good about it.
And we did promise them a picture of my couch at some point, which I broke over the weekend. So I should.
Well, send. Yeah. How about
I
this?
should send you a picture of my broken couch.
Send me a picture of
can
the broken
fulfill our
couch. It'll be the
Uh-huh.
first post on the Benzo Rehab Dungeon Patreon.
It's just gonna be the casting couch.
Yeah. Well, that's a broken couch too. You know,
Danko's
different
mascara
way.
running.
Yeah.
In Danko's living room, couch breaks you.
Very sad. A lot of broken hearts there.
Yes. Yeah.
With that being said, as always, we love you. Please take your medicine.
I'll see you in hell after you take mine too.
And share some with your friends.
In hell.